The Paris Olympic grand opening ceremony was full of blasphemy and mockery of God. There are some instances here that I'll show you as I speak about 3 places that you need to be clear and keen on when you're watching movies and music about symbols and when you're walking into universities, schools, driving by the roadside, everywhere. Number 1 is the mockery of the Last Supper. They depicted it so well using drag queens to mock the Last Supper. Number 2, we clearly see the pale dark horse with the wings at the back. And in Revelation, it's clearly indicated that they are going to be following, people of all nations are going to be following the dark horse at the end of the days. Then you see people with all the nations at the Olympics behind this person riding the horse. Number 3, everything in this grand opening ceremony is depicted to you so that you see and you accept things that they are going to do in the near future. For example, if you go back to the previous Olympics, like in the 2022, remember the bull that they brought out. It's clearly again depicted in when the choir was singing in this new Olympics. Then you go back a bit further, way before we had the scenario we had in 2020, and they depicted in the opening ceremony people on hospital beds, and then there was a dark figure rising to the top, hovering around or over these hospital beds, kind of like what happened in 2020, right? Now, when you're watching movies, the laws of the universe clearly dictate. If you need more clarity, you can read the book, The Hermetic Principles, the 7 Hermetic Principles in the book, The Kabbalion, and read the one written in 1902, not these revised versions that we have. One of the laws of the universe clearly states, everything has a cause and effect. As above, so below. As within, so without. When they show you these kind of things and you accept them, it does not come back to haunt them or to judge them. Why? Because you have accepted them. Thus, the cause and effect is on you. In Hollywood movies, it's always, and in music, it's always clearly depicted. Like, for example, this new song we had just recently, where there was a black horse and it was spitting fire and then it had wings. Then we go to places where most of us frequent. Let's take Kenya, for example. At the entrance of Kenyatta University, we have a torch there. In New York, at the Statue of Liberty, the Lady of Liberty is holding a torch. There's a whole story about Lady of Liberty, which we can go into details in our different video. Then you have the Obelisk. The Obelisk is a structure building where you have a pyramid at the top. You have one at the new Haile Selassie roundabout. You have some in universities. And then in movies when you're watching, you have the same in almost all of them. And this structure, the one in Washington, D.C., and in so many other places around the world. These things are put right in front of your eyes for you to see. In Karura Forest, as you're coming from, if you enter through the gate of Ruaka, as you're coming towards where you have an electric fence through the pads, it's coming towards the junction to go to the waterfall and Kiambu Road. There is one that is hidden down there, clearly hidden, but you can see it. If you're keen enough, you'll see it. These things are put right in front of your faces. If you watch the movie The Witch, which when you Google it, it's VVH. It's not W. They split the W to VV. The actors have clearly stated in interviews after the movie that they put spells in the movie And they picked different languages for particular spells so that when people are saying and they are hearing and they are watching these movies, the spell is cast on them. Those of you who do not believe in all these things, because you think this world purely exists, note, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, just exists out of nowhere. Spirituality is the reason why we're all here. This body we embody right now is just here for us to exist in this realm. Whether you believe this or not, you need to watch that opening ceremony and go back to the previous ones, like I've stated, over the years, and see that everything they do, before they do it, they show it to us. They put it in music, they put it in movies, and they make sure, Hollywood makes sure it's publicized properly so that you see it before it's done.